Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. In the long course of Chinese history, feudal dynasties were predominantly ruled by male leaders. Yet there were notable periods when female rulers emerged. Figures like Empress Lu of the Han Dynasty, Empress Wu Zetian of the Tang Dynasty, and Empress Dowager Cixi stand out in this historical narrative. Particularly, Cixi was not only the only female regent in Chinese history but also the actual power holder during the late Qing dynasty. Despite her reputation for cunning, the loneliness and sorrow behind her rule remain largely unknown. Cixi, originally named Yehenera, was born in 1835. In her youth, her beauty and intelligence caught the attention of Emperor Qianlong, leading to her selection as a concubine. After giving birth to her son, her status rapidly rose, and she became a significant figure in the imperial harem, ultimately becoming the Empress Dowager when her son ascended the throne. Her rise seemed smooth, but a tragic fate lay hidden behind it. At the age of 28, Cixi lost her husband when Emperor Qianlong died, forcing her into a life of mourning for nearly 47 years. As a royal woman, she had no right to remarry, losing not just her husband but also the intimate connections that would have accompanied her life. Her suffering stemmed from living in the splendor of the palace while being unable to experience the warmth of love again. Over time, Cixi's position in the palace became increasingly secure. Yet her personal life grew more isolated. After losing her husband, her relationship with her son turned tragic when Emperor Tongzhi died at just 19, leaving her bereft of her only close family. This not only brought her feelings of loss and loneliness but also made her feel empty at the pinnacle of power, truly a solitary figure. How did Cixi seek solace amid the pain of losing loved ones? This topic has drawn considerable interest, leading some to propose her relationships with eunuchs Li Lianying and Ndi Hai, suggesting she might have sought psychological comfort. Despite numerous rumors, the true nature of these relationships remains difficult to verify. Accompanied by eunuchs, Cixi grew increasingly isolated in her power struggles, feeling helpless. Historians have noted that the societal environment of the Qing dynasty differed from previous dynasties. Unlike the overt scandals of Wu Zetian or Empress Lu, Cixi's life was rather constricted. Rong'er, a palace maid who once served Cixi, discussed her life and expressed heartfelt sentiments in her writings. When others questioned Cixi's private life, Rong'er responded, "I don't understand the events of the Tang and Han dynasties, such matters were not allowed to be spoken of in the palace. But I dare say that during my 7 or 8 years there, according to palace rules, such things simply wouldn't happen." Rong'er's words seem very authentic, and to corroborate her claims, she described the palace environment. No matter where a dowager goes, she is always surrounded by many palace maids. Especially in Cixi's case, given her extravagant lifestyle. These maids serve dual purposes: to attend to her needs and to act as a check on her behavior. Any indiscretion on Cixi's part would quickly become gossip. Moreover, palace maids had to remain by her side around the clock, particularly at night, ensuring that her behavior was always in check. Additionally, many speculated that if there were no outsiders in the palace, it could have been the eunuchs like Li Lianying who were involved, possibly not entirely innocent. However, such speculation is impractical, as Rong'er explained that while eunuchs entered the palace young, any issues of purity during their second maturation were managed by the emperor's decree, with biannual checks to ensure they were castrated properly, a long-standing tradition. Even if Li Lianying was favored, the risk was minimal. Thus, if there were any ambiguous relationship, it might have only been a form of emotional consolation. It's worth mentioning that within Empress Cixi's tomb, an unusual object was discovered, known as Jade Lotus root. The authenticity of this Jade Lotus root was later verified through the accounts of Li Lianying. Upon hearing its name, many people cannot help but entertain various speculations. This jade lotus root could have served as a comforting feminine item for Empress Cixi. But it might also have had other uses, as lotus roots were highly valued by her. Cixi, who practiced Buddhism and was keen on health preservation, was certainly knowledgeable about these matters. The Compendium of Materia Medica once recorded that jade can moisten the heart and lungs, strengthen muscles and bones, and promote blood circulation. The presence of the jade lotus root near Cixi seems to be justified, for her. A finely crafted piece of jade that could provide occasional massages would serve her health needs by helping to relieve meridians. So, why was it made in the shape of a lotus root? This has another important aspect. In ancient times, lotus roots were considered symbols of purity. According to Li Lianying's description, this jade lotus root was not only a lotus root. More importantly, on the 3 segments of white jade lotus root, there was a gray substance resembling mud. Above the jade lotus root were green lotus leaves and pink lotus flowers. It was not just a simple segment of lotus root, nor was it a smooth object, suggesting it could merely be a decorative item favored by Cixi, which she used for body massages to aid in health preservation. The choice of jade for the lotus root symbolized purity, representing the idea of rising unstained from the mud, perhaps reflecting Cixi's pursuit of artistic values. Additionally, the origin of this jade lotus root also came from Li Lianying. As Empress Cixi aged, she often suffered from insomnia and night sweats. Li Lianying found this jade lotus root specifically to present it to the Empress, believing it would help soothe her spirit and promote sleep. Once the jade lotus root was by Cixi's side and its effects became more pronounced, it became her favorite item, to the extent that she wanted it with her even in her coffin. Regardless, Empress Cixi's life trajectory mirrors the tragic fate of women in ancient China. Although she became a symbol of power, her life was marked by loneliness and helplessness. In that era, women's fates were often suppressed. And even when they had opportunities to wield power, the pressures and public scrutiny they faced were immense. As a representative of female power in China, Cixi's life was not only about the struggle for power but also a profound experience of solitude and sorrow. She spent 47 years in the palace as a widow, enduring countless rumors and the agony of loneliness, ultimately navigating her life through the intertwining of power and solitude. In the long course of history, the story of Empress Cixi serves not only as a reflection of an era but also as a profound revelation of women's fates. Her loneliness and sorrow became a microcosm of the fates of countless women of her time. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.